Hi, this is David with David's Tutorials, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to grow your group or organization. Now, many of us take part in organizations that would be much more effective if they had more members. It could be something like a Lions Club or other civic organization. It could be a volunteer group like a community theater or a musical group. It could be a church. Anything that needs to grow to be more effective, this video is for you. This video is particularly made for the Lions Club in the area where I live because they have set a goal that they want to grow by a certain percentage over the next few years. And this particular video should give them the tools to make that happen. Now, these tools will be just as effective on pretty much any volunteer, service, civic organization, and it will help you grow. Now, there are only 3 steps to growing your organization. I'm going to list those and then I'm going to go into the details on what they are. Let's take a look at those right now. Number 1, the first thing you need to do to grow your organization is simply invite people. You cannot have people come new to your organization unless they have been invited in some way. A lot of times you will have a Join Us page on your website. That's a kind of an invite, but the most effective invite is always the personal invite. Let's say you've got a neighbor 3 or 4 doors down that you're a friendly acquaintance but not really good friends with, or yet, not good friends with yet, but you see him maybe in line at a grocery store and you say, "Hey, Bob, good to see you. I haven't chatted with you much. I wanted to ask, are you aware of the Lions Club locally? We do a lot of great things, and we're going to have a meeting this next Tuesday night, and the guest speaker at this meeting is going to be retired Major League Baseball umpire. It's supposed to be a really good talk, and it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're interested, we'd love to have you come to the meeting, and I'll tell you what, come as my guest, and we'll just be happy to see you. How about that? Do you want to come to the meeting?" Just ask. They can always say no. They may find an excuse. They may say, "Well, I'm really busy and I'm not interested," and that's okay, but you'll never know unless you ask. Your club is not going to grow unless you and all of the members of your club get out there and start inviting people. Now, it's a good thing perhaps to issue a challenge to some of the members of the club, of your group, that, okay, I'm going to set a goal that in the next 6 months, I'm going to invite 6 new people as my guests. Now, that's my goal. What's your goal? Just issue a little challenge like that. And of course, take it seriously and do try to invite 1 new person a month for 6 months and just see what happens to the membership of your club. Now, once you have invited the people, that's step number 1, you need to increase the chances that they will want to join your group by step number 2, which is make them feel welcome. Now, what this means is you don't just have people come into your meeting and say, "Hey, glad to see you," shake their hand and point them to a chair, say, "You can sit right here," and then ignore them for the whole rest of the time. I got to tell you, that has happened to me, and it's not fun. If you do this to your guests, it's going to be not fun for them either, and the chances that they will want to come back are much more reduced. So, if you get some new guest to your meeting or your rehearsal or whatever it is, you need to make them feel welcome. You do this by paying attention to them. Go over and talk to them before the meeting or after the meeting, and you can ask them about their family. "Hey, I haven't seen much about what's going on with your wife and your kids. What's up with them these days?" You can ask them about their job. You can tell them more about what your organization does. Did you know that we're involved in eye screening for preschool kids, and we've had hundreds of kids that have gotten glasses that might not have gotten them otherwise? Or did you know we're involved in the Diabetes Foundation for the state? Or did you know that we're involved with reducing hunger for children? just those sorts of things, and see where their interests kind of perk up and say, oh, really, is that nice? Or if they kind of look off on the side and they're not interested in that. But in any case, just engage with the people, make them feel that they're welcome. And your goal is to make them feel that they are valued, that you are really glad that they're here, and that you and everybody else would be wonderfully glad if they joined the organization. Now, it's not just your own guests that you need to make feel welcome. Always when you come to an assembly of your group, look around, and if you see a new face, somebody you don't recognize, make it a point to go over and talk to that person. This is making people feel welcome. It might be somebody who's been in the group for a year and you're just now talking to them for the first time. That's okay. But especially if you know this is somebody who is new, who is somebody else's guest, you should go talk to them. Now, this is an attitude that needs to permeate the entire club. Everybody who is a member of that club, who is interested in seeing the club grow, they need to look around and see if there's a new face, somebody they don't recognize, and if so, especially if nobody's talking to that person, go over and engage them. Talk to them, ask about who they are, who they're a guest of, make them feel valued, make them feel you're glad they're here. This is a step that is absolutely critical to shifting people from, gee, I wonder what this club is all about, to the attitude of, hey, this is a pretty cool group of people. I might want to join. And this is going to help grow your club. Now, the one sure way to turn people off and have them not want to join your club is to ignore the third step. Now, the third step, we've got the first step is you have to invite them. The second step is you have to make them feel welcome. And the third step is you have to follow up. Now, the follow-up, if you ignore it, is a pretty sure way to turn them from, hey, this is a pretty cool group of people, I might want to join them, and then say, well, I guess they really don't care. I guess I'm just not going to join. It basically pushes them away if you don't follow up. So you could call them up and say, so hey, what did you think of that guest speaker? I thought he was pretty good, but there were some places in there I thought he could have done better, quite honestly, between you and me. Whatever it is. And don't say, how did you like, because that kind of puts them on the spot saying you want them to like the speaker, but just say, what did you think of? And that would give them a little bit more opening. But the main purpose of getting back in touch with them for the follow-up is to tell them more about what the organization does, what the philosophies are, and answer any questions they might have. Also, just like when you are inviting somebody and you say, I want to come to the meeting, what you want to do is tell them what the next step is. For example, in the follow-up, you say, well, if this club is something that interests you, I'd be happy to go ahead and work with you to get through the join-up process. So you really want them to join. Salesmanship 101 is you always ask for the sale. In this case, you're not trying to sell them on anything except an idea, which is that they would like to join the organization and that you would really like it if they did, and so would the rest of the group. You can tell them things like, we're involved in a whole bunch of things, and we could be so much more effective if we had somebody like you with us. Just tell them why it would be good if they joined the organization. So if you're interested in joining, let me work with you and we'll go ahead and we'll fill out the paperwork to get you started. And if they kind of back off, you'll be able to tell this. You say, well, I'm not quite sure yet. Say, no problem at all. Don't put them on the spot. We've got another meeting here 2 weeks from now on Tuesday, same place. And this time, I understand the guest speaker is going to be with the State Emergency Management Agency. And that ought to be a really fun speech to hear. So why don't you come again? You be a guest again, and you can see a little bit more about who we are and what we do. So we don't want to push people, but we don't want to let them feel abandoned. Strike that happy balance. Now, we have those 3 steps. That's really all you need to do. You need to invite people, you need to make them feel welcome, and you need to follow up. But there are 2 more rules I want to share with you before we go that will make your chances much higher that the people you invite will join the group and help it grow. The first rule is don't indulge in tag and run strategies. In other words, don't just say, hey, I'd like you to come to the meeting, see you later, bye. And there's, what was all that about? No, that's tag and run. They come to the meeting, they say, oh, here's some paperwork if you want to join, bye, and you leave them sitting there alone, and they're just sitting there looking around feeling abandoned. Don't tag and run, okay? Make them feel welcome. Make them feel that you care. Make them feel that they will be a good contributor if they want to be. Don't tag and run is rule number 1. Rule number 2 is whenever you get with somebody, especially somebody who is not a member yet, never leave that particular get-together until you have scheduled the next one. If you run into Bob in line at the grocery store and you invite him to the meeting, you are now trying to schedule your next get-together. So, Bob, the meeting here is this Tuesday. It's at 11:30 at such and such a restaurant. It's in the private room in the back. So will I see you there? There it is. Will I see you there? You're engaging. You're trying to schedule the next meeting. And if you are in the meeting and you're making them feel welcome, you can then say, hey, Bob, I'd like to get together with you here in the next week just to tell you a little bit more about what we do that we didn't cover today and to answer any questions you might have. When's a good time for you? You see, you're scheduling the next get-together. You get in the follow-up. You're scheduling either fill out the paperwork and then they come to the next meeting, or else they'll just come to the next meeting to find out more. Schedule the next thing, the next get-together before you leave the one you're in. Okay, those are the 2 rules. And I hope these 3 simple steps and the 2 rules that I just mentioned to you will help you grow whatever group you want to get larger. If you thought this was a helpful video, go over, be sure you're on the YouTube platform, which there'll be a YouTube logo down in the corner or up in the corner. And if you click on that, it'll take you to the YouTube platform. You can then click the thumbs up, which will let me know you thought it was a good video, and it'll let the YouTube robots know, and they'll recommend it to more people. And if you want to leave us a comment, I would really appreciate how this particular video affected you, how you plan to use it, what club you are with, how you want to grow your group. Also, you can leave that comment down in the comment section below. And finally, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and then the bell icon, and YouTube will notify you whenever we post another great tutorial right here on David's Tutorials. Take care, everybody.